I just want to quickly give you a brief overview of the NinjaTrader platform, what NinjaTrader is, why we need NinjaTrader, and a little bit about NinjaTrader itself. In the next video, I'll also try to explain the ATAS platform for those who want to trade crypto. Alright, first I'll explain the important parts to you, then I'll go back and start from the beginning because some might only need the key parts and already know the rest. I mean, the other parts are mostly useful for beginners. Okay, look, the important part is this connection. I've explained to you before how to add connections. You go to this configuration section and add the connection you want, which for us is rhythmic and so on, as I explained in the previous video. In the connection section, you disconnect and connect here. Another important explanation is how to enable tick replay. Go to Tools, Options, Market Data. Let me go through it again so it's not too fast. In the Tools section, go to Options, then select Market Data, and make sure that you check this box called Show Tick Replay. So this option is for those who want to work with software where tick replay is available and works properly. You can use this software like Disco Trading's order flow or the order flow of NinjaTrader itself, which isn't tick replay. So there's no need to check it at all, but you can enable the check mark here. But when you want to open a chart in the new section, for example, let me open a chart. Let me open the euro dollar chart. Don't check tick replay, meaning you enable tick replay in Tools, but if you want to open a chart, don't check tick replay, just let tick replay be here. Alright, so these were the two important parts I explained to you. The new tab, we don't need the top part, we only need Super DOM. Well, not too much. Once you're a bit more professional, you can use Super DOM. But anyway, we have it in another way next to our chart. Okay. Not in this section, it's the chart section, the charts we want to open. For example, click on this part and then open whatever chart you want. Remember, we're only trading futures, so you can find any chart you want here in the futures section. In the new tab, again, we go down. We don't use any of these here either. I won't explain them to you because we don't use them and to keep the video short. Otherwise, if you click level 2, it shows you something that we have in another way. Market Analyzer, Market Watch. You don't need to have Market Watch at all. We have another Market Watch. This news, this is NinjaTrader's own new news, which we don't need at all. If there are friends who want to write strategies just like they do in MetaTrader, they can also use Strategy Builder here. Okay, this is the time and sales section, which is what we'll be using. For any currency like the euro dollar I've opened down here, time and sales will appear. Of course, we also work with another time and sales. I just explained this for you. Well, here's your account data. You have it available right down here. It shows you all of your account details right here. If your accounts are real, well, trade performance is where if you trade, everything is explained to you right here. It also has a report that you can export. While it has dates here where you enter the dates, see, it shows exactly how much profit or loss you made on each trade. You can select journal here. It gives you a journal. You can select the date again. It has reports. You can get reports. Well, we don't need this part. And this part, as I mentioned and explained to you, is GL Bridge, the link between MetaTrader and NinjaTrader, which is the software we provided for free for the first time. Well, in the Tools tab, if you click instrument, you can add any instrument you want here. For example, I want to add the S&P. Well, when I search ES, remember, not stock, it should be futures or something else entirely. Look, let me try 6C, for example, the Canadian dollar. Well, we need the futures section. This is also micro. Well, you can also work in the micro section. If, for example, each lot here is $1,000, here it's 1/10, meaning if each lot is $1,000, here each lot is $100, exactly 1/10. Friends who don't have much capital can work in micro and add micro, but they should remember, it must absolutely say futures next to it. And this is your instrument lists. You can remove from the list or add to the list here. Well, the next part is database management. Database management is also important. Every so often, your contracts expire, and you just need to click on database management. And then after you do that, a list will appear for you. You have to roll over the list so it can show you more information. Here, it also clearly shows you exactly which list it is currently displaying to you. For example, I'll select futures and so on. If you click update every now and then, it shows here that which currencies need a rollover and which ones don't. Let's wait until, well, you see it didn't bring up any list for me. You must check every now and then, especially for commodities if you want to trade commodities like oil or gold. Well, the hotkeys are useful shortcuts. You can, for example, enter commands wherever you want, like in Superdom, but this isn't really necessary for our style. Now, you can work with it if you want, but I suggest you don't. If you click on the commissions section, it shows the commissions. I forgot about historical data. I forgot to explain it. Historical data is data for old history, which we also don't need for our style. You can take a look at the commission section to see exactly how much commission it gives you for each lot that you trade, for example. The risk section is also clearly shown here, so you can easily review it as well, which again is not part of our style. It's import-export. Import-export is if you want to add something like an export or an add-on. It's import and export, which we don't deal with. Well, here, if you want to reduce or remove an add-on, you can click remove here. Well, this is the options section, which again isn't necessary. We don't do much with the options section except for that market data, which is the tick replay. Of course, you can tinker with it a bit here, but well, I suggest you don't tinker with it. It's the Workspace section, and I'll definitely make a video for it about how to, for example, Workspace, of course. It depends on whether your system can handle it or not. You need a strong system, not strong, but a medium system. So you can, for example, open several workspaces together and, as we say, market watch and look. If not, you can, for example, not use the workspace. I also explained the connection section. The help section is if you have any problems, you can talk to their support. Below is the order section. If you have an open or closed order, an open order, it shows it. This section is the same. This section is strategy. Positions also show you open and closed positions. Account also shows you the account details, and I currently have 2 accounts. It shows the balance of each and so on. This is the login history. It shows you the login, which isn't really. Let me just go to my chart and give you an explanation. Well, let me open a chart and explain it to you on the chart screen. For example, I want to open this euro dollar again. This part, if you want to open it. This part that gives you ask and bid, you should click last. Type also shows how you want to work. Renko, some people work with Renko, some work with line break, for example, some work with range, some work with tick. We work with range, Renko, and minute. Now let me bring up the minute for you. This tick, this part, this minute, for example, how many minutes it should be, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes. I also explained tick replay to you. Time frame also shows how many days it should open for you. Open a bar or a daily. For example, I want it to open quickly, so I'll set it to open for 1 day. This is the last data that it wants to open. We don't need these hours either. I'll explain it to you later. Here you can set the scale to auto or manual, but there's no need. Just leave it on auto. This section shows your trade history. For example, if you've previously opened a trade on the chart, it shows the arrows here, it shows the arrows on the chart. But if you select do not display, it won't show them. Okay? Click OK and let the chart open for you. So a chart like this opened for you. You see 1 minute for Euro, Euro USD. Now in this section it shows you. This is about how the chart should look, like whether you want candlesticks and so on. You can usually just leave it on the default. This part gives you the tools like the ruler or, I don't know, maybe something else you might need, lines you want to draw or anything else, icons or whatever you want to add to the chart. And this is the zoom in section. This is that part. It's the cursor. I forgot the English name for it. Okay, this is the show data box, which we honestly do not really use at all, to be honest. If you turn on this chart trader, meaning you click on the second option, this section is added for you where you can buy and sell. This part is also the ATM strategy. I'll explain the ATM strategy in more advanced lessons. Here it shows your account, the instrument, and so on. Now, if you want to turn it off, you go back to it and turn it off. This section is the data series. For instance, if you opened a chart and forgot to check the replay box, click on data series and that first part appears. You can go back into the settings and adjust it. If you want 2 charts, it's not used in our style, but if you want to add 2 charts, another instrument, for example, let me bring up the euro dollar. No, let me get Something else, let's bring up the euro pound. You can add it and show here, for example, how it opens. For example, if it opens in another panel, let me apply it while it loads, it appears below the chart. But we don't really use this in our style. Let me remove it for now and apply, so it's just the one. Okay, this is the indicator section. If you want to add an indicator or change its settings, click on this indicator section. The list of indicators will appear for you, and you can see the available indicators you have in NinjaTrader or adjust them. For example, I have MZ indicator open, Delta scalper open, and order flow is also open. All the add-ons for all the disco trading indicators are open. That is, if you downloaded Ninja from our site and unlocked it, it's open for you. Otherwise, these aren't open for you. The order flows that NinjaTrader 8 itself has are open. If you want to add add-ons, for example, I want to add this add-on. I'll add it here. And I'll change the add-on settings here. Just keep in mind or remember, if you open an indicator, you must specify whether it's on tick replay or not. If it opens on tick replay, your chart must also be opened on tick replay. Well, this is the strategy section, which we won't be using for now. This is properties. If you just right click, properties will appear. But if you want to, say, adjust settings or want an image for your background, click with this chart feature option right here. You are able to upload an image and you can easily set it as your background. Other details like changing the scale and such can also be found here. Look at axis right here in the right hand corner. The lines that are shown in the background, including the vertical lines and the horizontal lines, you can, if you want, use them as a helpful reference. And I'll skip over these details for now because they're really quite basic. Anyone who has previously worked with MetaTrader, TradingView, or any similar trading tool before moving on to NinjaTrader will find these topics to be very elementary and already quite familiar. There really aren't many new things here. If you ever open a chart or an indicator and see that it's not changing here, meaning the scale is fixed, an F will appear in the right corner. Press F to scroll up and down. And if you see that you've gone to this section and the right side of the chart isn't opening, click this arrow to move to the right. If I want to remove this arrow again, I click here, set it to off, and it's gone. Let me explain one more thing. If you see your chart is, say, very cramped like this, right-click on the screen or select Properties here. You can adjust it. For instance, if I enter 100 and apply, you'll see it moves further over, but you can adjust it yourself based on your monitor's resolution. Well, right-click on the screen and most of the items from the top will appear for you. Instrument appears here. Data series, alert, indicator, strategy. This is drawing tools, which we have up here. It's the tools, drawing tools. Most are available at the top, and templates. If you want to save a template, click Save here and search for it. Now, if I already have a template, I go to the template section, click Load, and load that template. As I said, these things are really quite elementary. And any friend who has migrated from MetaTrader or TradingView to NinjaTrader will assume that with the style you're working in, regarding level 1 data, you are familiar with it. If not, you should definitely go and do a search on the internet, because if you want to work with level 2 data, you definitely need to be familiar with level 1 data first. Well, there's really nothing else special here for me to explain to you. I've already given you the full explanation of the main NinjaTrader console as well. I've explained what each of these is for, and in the next video I'll explain the Atlas platform for those who want to trade crypto. I will explain it to you. The most important point of this video was the connection section and tick replay, and that part where I showed the do not replay on the chart.
Hello again, friends. If you want to add an indicator to your NinjaTrader, you need to follow these steps that I'm going to tell you. First of all, close your NinjaTrader. Please make sure NinjaTrader is closed. And download, for example, the FOMO VW app software or any other software that you want. Once downloaded, if you notice there's a folder within that folder key that you downloaded from our site, like FOMO VWAP. There's some content there. Copy it. Go to the address that I'm about to tell you. Next, go to Documents, NinjaTrader 8, Bin, Custom, and you paste it here. Now, since I already had it, it asks me a question saying, Do you want to replace it? I'll say, okay, now at this stage, open your NinjaTrader and open a chart. Go to the indicators section and you'll see that FOMO trade or FOMO trade VWAP has been added. It's that easy.